Hi. It is Wednesday, named after Wedden, the Norse god of wondering why it's not yet Friday. Welcome to the show. It's another themed show, yes. But, unfortunate title aside, it's a pretty good one. I'm a little groggy today. I am a little groggy today because we're at that point. You know, this is July. We're on over the hump as far as summer goes. So the days are getting shorter. They're also getting hotter. So, hey, figure that one out. But we will begin with a few things. Yes, I'm just double checking to make sure that the microphone is not muted, and it isn't. That's good. Already a step forward in the right direction. Let's do I think a little Jimmy Buffett is called for today. Let's do that thing here. Let's make sure that I know where I'm going with this. Song number 1. Yes, there we are. I'll talk about flight hours at the end of the song. We'll figure out how it goes from there. Once again, I tune because I like you people. Yay! All right. One bonus here is that there is a chord called the F♯7, which is a really obnoxious chord when you try to play it, unless you remember that an F♯7 is basically like an E7, only cranked up a couple. And then you have to use all your fingers. Like that. Now they make... let's try that again. There we go. Now they make new movies in old black and white, with happy endings where nobody fights. So if you find yourself in that nostalgic rage, honey, jump right up and show your age. I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind. Here we go. A two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. Oh, I remember being buck-toothed and skinny, writing fan letters to Sky's niece Penny. Well, I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache that I could solve some mysteries too. But it's a bandstand, Disneyland, growing up fast, drinking on a fake ID. Well, Rama of the jungle was everyone's Bawana, and only jazz musicians were smoking marijuana. Yeah, I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache that I could solve some mysteries too. But it's a flat top, dirty mop, copping a feel, grubbing on the living room floor, so sore. Well, they send you off to college, try to gain a little knowledge, but all you want to do is learn how to score. Well, now I'm getting old, I don't wear underwear. Actually, I do. I don't go to church, and I don't cut my hair. Who does? I can go to movies and see it all there, just the way that it used to be. I said I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache, the Boston Blackie kind, a two-tone Ricky Ricardo jacket and an autographed picture of Andy Devine. I could be anything that I wanted to be. Maybe glorious wave, Errol Flynn, or the Sheik of Araby. If I only had a pencil-thin mustache that I could do some cruising to. Oh, Brill cream, a little dab will do you. I could do some cruising too. Oh, that was actually pretty good, and there was a minimum of boating accidents, and I think that's a positive sign from everybody. How are you? Whew. Yes, the ground is absorbing more heat than it can radiate away because it's been exposed to the frickin' sun. And here in Texas, it is exposed to the frickin' sun like God's very own flashlight. What are you doing down there? Hi. Nothing. Sweating. Mostly. Oh, my goodness me. So that's a good start. Hello, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all have come here, and before we got started, let me move this control thing down so I can push that button there a little bit easier. Before we got started, I was talking about how this was really kind of an exercise in flight hours for me. Flight hours is a concept I lifted directly from Penn and Teller. It was actually listed in at least one or two of their books. And it's much like pilots have flight hours. They measure their experience in flight hours as opposed to miles. Because if you fly a certain number of hours, you will experience just about everything you can possibly experience while flying an airplane. And consequently, other pilots will think that you are actually qualified. And for me, doing these goofy little half-hour shows 4 times a week is basically the equivalent of what I did when I was a magician. And I was very lucky or crazy enough, depending on who you talk to perform 36 weekends out of the year, never leaving the state of California, except once when I went to Nevada. Now, that's not bad for a part-time pro. I am never been a circuit rider. I have a very specific range. And Joseph has given us a theory on the original bouncing ball, the Usher's flashlight leading sing-alongs in movie theaters. That may very well be. Tell you what, if anybody else out there has any thoughts on it, please do feel free to join in. This is not a one-sided conversation. Besides which, if y'all comment on things, then I know that there's people watching, and that does my shriveled little dark, crippled, crumbly ego so much good. Yeah, let's see here. Now, almost all these songs, all these songs are technically going to begin with the letter P. The first 2 were really easy. The last 2 were a little bit more of a reach because I'd already done the Ballad of Captain Peaches earlier in the week, and I'm trying hard not to repeat my songs every day and do a different set of songs. This is ego on my part. So, song number 2 is my good friend, the Platypus Postman. I'm very fond of this song. This is one of Kay's faves, I know, partially because it's kind of his fault that I'm doing it. And just because it's been a little while. I know what the song is. I just want to make sure that I know the song enough. I'm also kind of groggy. It's a very groggy day for a lot of us. I don't know if y'all are tired, but I am definitely tired. Fortunately, this is a song that you can just get good and giggly and goofy and mellow with, and it is still one of my faves. And it became one of my faves partially because of the comic, and partially because, well, I just like the concept. Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. Neither rain nor snow nor sleet nor hail can make the Platypus Postman fail. Even in the flood he's still not stuck, 'cause the Platypus Postman swims like a dog. Platypus Postman, Platypus Postman. Even through the mud they can't be beat, yeah, they never sink because of their chase him or leave a mark, 'cause the hounds are too darn confused to bark. Platypus postman, platypus postman. In the coldest rain they won't demur, they're protected by their thick coarse fur. Of all the post carriers on the scene, only one of them is a mono tree. Platypus postman, platypus postman, platypus postman. Believe in the platypus postman. The fact that I get away with these songs is not lost upon me, and the absurdity of this entire exercise is like, yeah. This song feels like it's shorter than it should be, but I don't have the bandwidth for the appropriate 25-minute solo in the middle of Platypus Postman that would make it suitable. Y'all are dragging, huh? We're getting some latency. Well, we've got a green light on my side, which means that it's at least getting out the door in a timely manner. Hopefully, y'all are actually seeing some kind of reasonable behavior. And of course, if it gets weird, really weird and juddery, and you just can't stand it, you can always wait for the replay, because I will put these up on the archives as we will normally do it. Speaking of which, I've got most of the songs up. All the shows are up on Facebook up to this one. YouTube, again, we're usually a little bit behind. I might actually be bright enough to operate a YouTube and get the last few shows of this week up before the end of the week. Twitch does it automatically, and that's always a lovely thing. There's something completely random and seemingly pointless thing I'm going to point out because I can, and that is that the otter here, this here ukulele, we're acting like we're groggy too. Yeah, we are all just kind of like, I have not had a great deal of caffeine today, and it kind of shows. But I have done something with this ukulele. I'm trying to pronounce it ukulele, which is, of course, the Otter. It is a waterproof ukulele from the Outdoor Ukulele Company. And it came with a knob down here, but no knob up here. So I had to tie a string around the neck and then run the strap over. And I just recently got my hands on these little wonders. Bring this right up. You can see this is a 3D printed strap knob. Ooh, right? And it has a really, 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 really strong adhesive disc on the back of it. I have affixed one of them to the back of this unit right here. And if you recall me playing Payback, I'm going to try the same thing with that and see if this will allow me to support these ukuleles in a more graceful manner, especially when I'm staggering around a Renaissance Fair site. Because there ain't nothing in the world quite as disappointing and saddening as hearing the headstock of a musical instrument hit the deck after the strap has come off. I've heard it, I've been there, I've done that, it's not fun. Oh, by the way, if you're interested and have instruments that you feel like you could try these out on, these little bad boys are like $12 for a pair. And you can go to outdoorukulele.com, and it says outdoor ukulele just like it's spelled right there, outdoorukulele.com. And they have ukuleles, and they have guitars, but they do not have a baritone outdoor ukulele, which I think is a terrible, terrible shame. Now, song 3, Piracy. Suck piracy. See? Rules lawyered my way into that one, but I'm taking it. Let's see here. Of course, that starts in R. A minor, the key of R. Yar. I'm having a heck of a time because I can actually see myself. I don't have to look at the notes on the song here. Come, listen to me, tell me, hearties, heed well to me call. We'll launch our ships and stealthily we'll glide over the wall. We'll land as soft as feathers and we'll deftly pick their locks. We'll pounce upon our prey, me boys, and then we'll steal their socks. So pirates and dirigibles, the sky be where we roam, just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. So pirates of the clouds, me boys, the sky be where we roam. We'd all turn on us sailors if we just could make our own. The city watch, they know our ship, each one does know our name. They stalk down us poor sailors, and upon us heap their shame. We'll ransack every port and town, for hosiery we adore. 'Tis not so much a fetish, more a way of keeping score. Suck pirates and dirigibles, the sky be where we roam, just looking for a decent pair without a holy toe. Suck pirates of the air, me boys, the clouds be where we roam. We'd all turn on us sailors if we just could make our home. We'd almost had our fill, me lads, but we made one stop more. Accosted a fair maiden coming out of the yarn store. This plucky lass, she was quite brave, she did not flinch a bit. She glared us down defiantly and taught us how to knit. Huh, that ain't hard. Suck pirates of the air, no more, no longer do we roam. We've all turned on us sailors who know how to turn a toe. Suck pirates of the clouds, no more, we've settled down at home. We've all turned on us seamen now that we can make our own. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I have to pause after I finish a song to, one, indicate that I've stopped, and two, give the imaginary audience sitting on the other side of the table from me a chance to applaud. I'm not going to say that y'all don't. In fact, I know for a fact that at least once I asked if you folks could hear me, and someone mentioned in the comments that they were all just sitting there nodding. I can't see out. I can only see me back, which is not as attractive an image as some of you might think. And three, allow the time to let the giggling subside. Yes, because I can't believe I'm doing this either, to be completely frank with you. This has been going on now for 4 months. We have now passed the mark in the middle of March where I decided, heck with it, I'll do a show. Just to keep myself sane and give myself something to do. And it has become this whole doing these, writing songs and finding songs to play and performing and listening to y'all and, you know, that interchange, which I think we can all definitely do with, because we need this kind of social interaction in a fairly non-challenging, non-stressful place, because things is weird right now, and there will change, and it will eventually improve, because it doesn't have much of a choice, and human nature does tend to default towards, well, maybe I shouldn't let everybody die, for the most part. And there's enough of us on that side that I believe we can pull this thing back into some semblance of sanity. That's my political commentary for the day. See, I'm tired and the editor goes away. But that's alright, because I think y'all are all about the same level of tired. That's why I'm an absurdist. I look for meaning in things, and I look for humor in things. Because if I don't, there's a lot of screaming. Speaking of screaming, I think it's time for another song, and I think it's time for a song that is part of what is becoming the music hall set. Yes, it's a music hall song, folks. It's a song about Potables. BOOZIN. Yeah, it's a reach. There's always a reach. Yes, Amy has noted that we are in fact now taking suggestions for romance songs and music hall songs of the Victorian and later and post-Victorian era time. And we will see what we can do with that. And I think that's wow, you guys are actually watching. I'm really groovy. I'm really jazzed about that. Y'all are watching, yay! This is BOOZIN. BOOZIN is a song that I initially heard sung by a group known as Hard Times. Ta-da! At Dickens Fair, and then it got taken on by Brass Farthing. Ta-da! They sing slightly lower. And it's a song I like. It's a lot of fun. And it is, as with many songs, drinking songs, starts in the key of G. And there is key of D. And there's a small improvement that I have made to the arrangement, which you might notice or you might not notice. Hopefully, if you do notice it, it's a positive. And if you don't notice it, it just means that the song's good. Now, what are the joys of a single young man? Why, boozing, bloody well boozing. And what is he doing whenever he can? Why, boozing, bloody well boozing. You may think I'm wrong, and you may think I'm right. I don't want to argue. I know you can fight. Not in the face, not in the face. But what do you think we'll be doing tonight? Why, boozing, bloody well boozing. Hey, hey! Boozing, boozing, just you and I. Boozing, boozing, when we are dry. Some do it openly, some on the sly, but we all love bloody well boozing. And what are the joys of the laboring man? Why, boozing, bloody well boozing. And what is he doing whenever he can? Yes, boozing, bloody well boozing. He goes out a jobbing, makes many a call, comes home to his wife, and he gives his wife 15 more minutes. But what sends him home hanging onto the wall? Why, boozing, bloody well boozing. Hey, hey! Boozing, boozing, just you and I. Boozing, boozing, when we are dry. I'm a tenor, I can't help it. Some do it openly, some on the sly, but we all love bloody well boozing. And what does the temperance union abhor? Most things but boozing, bloody well boozing. And what does the temperance union deplore? Again, damn near everything but boozing, definitely bloody well boozing. They stand on street corners, they rail and they shout about things they know nothing about. But what do they do when the lights have gone out? Why, boozing, bloody well boozing. Hey, hey! Boozing, boozing, just you and I. Boozing, boozing, when we are dry. Some do it openly, some on the sly, but we all love bloody well boozing. Gah! And once again we come staggering in sideways for yet another lovely, lovely show here at an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas, the Troubadork show, that's what it says up there, singing a song which causes me to adopt a completely unjustifiable accent. Admit it, though. I sound like a deranged peer in the British Empire, and I look like a deranged peer in the British Empire, so it all kind of fits together nicely, doesn't it? Yep. Okay, I will take that suggestion in, and I will see if I can learn how to perform it, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? I have a startling number of drinking songs and a startling number of love songs. Even if you leave out I'm Dating a Werewolf, I wouldn't leave it out, but some people do. So let's talk about a few things here, shall we? Let me scooch over to the side so I don't get hit upside the head by my very own Chiron. Well, it didn't want it. Why didn't you want it? Go. There we go. Oh, that's why I changed the name on the thing to remember what I was doing, so I need to change the buttons. That's all right. So we have, of course, PayPal.com and my PayPal pals of Robert and Rick and Emily and Miranda. Any money you drop into the bucket will go towards making more neat things happen in this show. For the more long-term project people, you can also go to patreon.com/theadequate. And I have another Patreon patron. I'm as bewildered by this as you are. Rapidly running out of room over here. Say over here. We got Steven and Rob and Alicia and Relly and BK and Kaylee and Richard and John and Brian and Lorene for my Party On, Party Down Patron people posse. Patreon basically is committing $1 a month or more if you're feeling generous or you know someone who has lots of money and low standards. And it all goes right back into the show. So that's where you can find that stuff. Of course, Patreon people also get previews of new songs and other things that seemed like a good idea at the time. And I'm getting the buttons mailed out, finally. I've got the buttons made. I've got the buttons mailed out. I remembered how to use the button making machine, which is actually more of a challenge than you might think. And getting the Patreon people to give me their addresses has also helped a great deal. Patreon.com/theadequate for all of your adequacy supporting needs. The archives are located over here at Facebook.com and Twitch.tv/TobiasTheAdequate. It's the Tobias the Adequate Facebook page and Twitch TV, that's my channel. YouTube.com/MPLEGARE because the Adequate was already taken. And again, Twitch automatically updates Facebook. I have to manually update it, and YouTube I got to manually update it. But they'll all be there sooner or later. And they are listed in newest first on pretty much everything except Twitch. Twitch goes... actually, no, Twitch does it newest first as well, which means that y'all don't... When you're introducing somebody to the shows, they don't have to listen to the really awkward first ones. No, they can go straight to the awkward last ones. That's right. So that's... Those are my archive pages. And of course, Carpe Diem Comics is the official emotional support comic shop of Tobias the Adequate, the Troubadork show, and anything else that goes on. Shadow gave me a really horrifically bad idea for a game, which I'm now pondering how to set up. I mean, it's really bad. It's hilarious. It'll be a great deal of fun, but it's a really bad idea. But that's all right. You can find them physically in McKinney, Texas, or on the interwebs at carpediemcomicsonline.square.site, and I think that's about it for that. Folks, thank you so very much for hanging out with me on yet another show. This was show number 67, according to my notes, which means that we could very well crest 100 before this is all said and done. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for hanging out with me. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. It will confuse them. I have been Tobias the Adequate. Y'all have been spectacular once again. And thank you for encouraging my behavior. I'll see y'all next time.